Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to MK in the Morning, episode 2. I'm here with my guy, Mac, the Giants fan. Say what's up, my guy.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me, Mitch.
Yeah, no problem, man. You were in my chat for the last wrestling stream, and I'm like, you know what? Let's have you on here, man. Let's have you on here. So, let's just get right into it. Who's your favorite Giants player of all time, dude?
It's funny because somebody asked me this just yesterday at work, and it's real easy for me to just say Lawrence Taylor. Obviously, I mean he's the reason I even became a New York Giant fan when I was a kid. But growing up, I got to actually really see and soak into Michael Strahan's career, man, and that guy really he really it was big time for the New York Giants, and I honestly think I would actually say Michael Strahan because I actually got to actually see his entire career play out from rookie season on till he rolled off into the sunset after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's actually funny. He's going out to space right now. Like, where his career is just like, ever since he retired from the NFL, the talk morning shows and all that stuff, it's just like, wow, sky's the limit.
Yeah, he's taking off, man.
So I was
Definitely.
actually going to think you would pick Eli Manning, honestly.
Eli is definitely very high up there too because I also got to enjoy his entire career as well. I've literally seen every single Eli Manning pass. So yeah, I mean he's up there high on the list too. But I was a big lineman guy, big guy myself. Just Michael Strahan, and I when I was Michael Strahan came into the league, that's when I was still playing football myself, and I was just really very absorbed with his career, man, through his career.
So you said you played football. How long did you play for?
I played in high school, played a couple of years college ball, like JUCO level
Oh,
college
okay.
ball,
Wow.
and I just about if you count little league, I played I'd say about 10 years or so
Oh, wow.
football.
10 years?
I mean,
Dang.
if you count like little league, but
Yeah, I know. But I never played football, so I don't know what it's like at
yeah,
all.
it's a grind, man. It can be a grind.
Yeah, I know. That's what I've been hearing. So, yeah, who the Giants are against who are they against this weekend?
The Chargers.
Ah, Chargers. And Mike Lennon's your quarterback now, right?
Yeah, Mike Glennon clear concussion protocol, so he's getting the start again.
There we go. I mean, yeah. How do you feel going into that game? How do you feel about it?
Right now, the offense does not give us anything to feel confident about, man. And so I honestly I picked the Chargers to whoop up on us, man. I'm getting like bad Ram vibes, like when the Giants played the Rams back in like week 6 or whatever that was. I'm getting vibes of that game again all over again. I'm just feeling like it's going to be something kind of similar to that. Even though the Chargers are dealing with some issues themselves, I'm not sure if Keenan Allen's going to be able to play. I think he was in COVID protocol.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and Mike Williams is on IR now. So they're dealing with some issues themselves, but I still think they're just a
Yeah.
better football team right now, flat out. I mean, I just know without any other way to put it.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel the worst for the New York Giant defense actually, because they're the ones they're out there playing their hearts out, man, playing lights out, and doing everything they can to keep this team in the game most games, and the offense is just not getting it done, man. Big
Yeah. That's
letdown.
exactly how I feel about my Eagles defense. Like, our defense is so bad that I actually said that I don't feel comfortable for them going to the playoffs. And people are like calling me
No.
Mr. Negative and all this stuff. But I'm like, are you watching what I'm watching here? This defense is terrible. I'm getting tired of that.
Yeah, it's definitely not the strength of the team. I agree with you on that.
Oh, no way. Nah. I mean, you guys beat us. And that proves my point right there.
And it only took 13 points, so you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, a loss is a loss. But
Yeah.
people are still saying that we have a shot to make the playoffs. And I'm like, we got to win out and we got to pray for like a lot of things to happen for that to happen.
Yeah, but weird things do happen in the NFL. But you're right; it's gonna be an uphill battle for you guys a little bit more so.
Yeah,
But you got a shot still. I feel like you guys at least do have a shot. I don't even think we Giants have that anymore. So
you're gonna laugh. I was on this podcast on Monday, and they were talking about how the Lions still had a chance.
what I can't even imagine what they would have to do
I forget the whole
and
scenario.
all
Like
the things that
they
would have
got
to
to win
happen.
out. Obviously, they got to pray for like them to lose, them to lose, them to lose. Like it's insane. It
Yeah,
makes no
I feel,
freaking sense at all.
feel like a lot would have to happen for that to happen. Because even if they finish tied with people, they lost so many tiebreakers probably with just head to head matchups and things. So I don't.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. It's just like 1 in 10 and 1. Just I can't imagine that again. Like, how is that even possible?
uh, that's yeah. I don't know how you could be that bad. And
I
they
mean,
lost some heartbreakers, man, but some close ones. But
yeah,
just
it
can't figure
wasn't
it out.
close to the Eagles though. The Eagles
Oh no, that might
crushed
have been
them.
their worst loss of the season. Yeah, it might have been their worst loss, I think, of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
So for that game, I picked the Lions to win because we were on like a really bad streak. And I went to my cousin's house. He got his apartment with his wife. I was visiting,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Okay, this is gonna be a good game." I sit down, 44-6. I'm like, "What just happened? What just literally happened?" But anyways, let me just pull up the games right here. So, any good games for tomorrow? You're looking to see, or
Well, I think that Cowboys and Dallas and Washington game will be pretty good one tomorrow
yeah.
afternoon.
But here's
It's
the
a big
thing.
game for Washington.
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, I don't know who to pick. Like, I don't know who to pick to win. Like, obviously, people are saying pick the Dallas to win, so we do have a shot. But Washington's on a streak, dude.
I
Washington's
agree.
on a big, big streak.
Yeah, they're
So we
playing
got
really good.
yeah. So Baltimore versus Cleveland. I mean, Baker Mayfield has still been up and down. So I don't know how I feel about this. The Ravens defense is just like it's eh. So and it depends on Lamar Jackson. How do you look at this game?
Right now I'm kind of like Cleveland in this one, man. I think they're gonna get it going on the ground, man, and just really control the clock in this game and win it, figure out a way to win a tough division game. Where are they playing this one at? This one is in
Cleveland.
it's in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's in Cleveland. So yeah, I think they'll find a way to get you know just really just get a tough win. Because I think the ground game is going. I mean, I know they both have strong ground games, but Baltimore's is more relying on Lamar Jackson, whereas has two stud running backs they can turn around and hand the ball off to.
Yeah.
So uh, I think they
Yeah.
figure out a way to get it done here.
And Kareem Hunt is back. So it's
Yeah,
just like I have him on fantasy. So the other running back I had was Williams from Detroit. He's on COVID
oh
list. So
yeah,
I'm like, put Kareem Hunt in there with James Conner. I'm
oh absolutely.
like gonna have to do that now. So Jacksonville and Tennessee, this one's kind of like a no brainer for me. Unless Jacksonville like goes off.
It
But
is, but Tennessee has been having those weird moments this season, man. Sometimes, man, they lost to the Jets even back when they still had damn, Derrick Henry was still while he was still playing. They lost to the Jets earlier in the season. So Tennessee is one of those really strange up and down teams, man. And it's a division game, so I'm not picking Jacksonville. I couldn't just go straight up and pick Jacksonville, but I don't know. I wouldn't be totally stunned if they pulled an upset off in this one.
oh yeah. I mean, I would not be stunned, but isn't Tennessee like injured still? Like Derrick Henry's obviously out for a year. Isn't
Yeah,
AJ Brown injured and
I
Julio
think he's
Jones?
AJ Brown is banged up, and Julio Jones is he's in. Julio Jones is definitely out. I'm not sure about AJ Brown. I know he's banged up, but I think he may still be playing.
Yeah, I'm going Tennessee for this one. But next game is going to be a good one. We got the Las Vegas Raiders against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs are on like a 5-game winning streak or something like that, and the Raiders
Yes,
coming off a huge win. So, this one's going to be a tough one. It really
it
is.
is. This will be a very tough one, but I like what Kansas City's doing lately, man. They have figured it out. Patrick Mahomes has cleaned up the mistakes. He's not turning the ball over as much as he was earlier in the year, and I just think the Chiefs are gonna. I think they're gonna roll in this one, man. Kind of
Yeah.
like them at home, man. I think they're gonna.
Yeah, me too. I got the Chiefs here because their defense has actually been turning it around a little bit here. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, their defense is starting to pick it up, which is huge. Because Patrick Mahomes, no matter how great he is, he can't do everything. Like, he needs help from everybody, especially on the other side of the ball. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
the Saints and the Jets.
This could literally go either way. Yeah,
Yeah,
this could literally go either way, man. But it's in the Meadowlands. I mean MetLife. Excuse me, but
yeah.
I still think I'll take the Saints. I think the Saints are still a little, even with all their issues. I think they're still a little better than the Jets, man.
I mean, the Jets do have wins under their belt. Like, they beat the Raiders. Who else did
Yeah,
they beat?
they
They almost beat us.
beat Tennessee.
Yeah, like, and my friend calls it meth life. So it's like,
Yeah,
I'm going Jets. Honestly,
I think
the Saints just don't have. Wait, is Kamara playing?
I believe Kamara's back. Yeah,
Ooh,
I think Kamara is back tomorrow. That's why
Kamara.
I still think that gives him just enough of the edge, man. Even though he's been out for a few weeks though, but
Yeah,
I think he.
yeah. You know what? On that note, I'm still going with the Jets here. I'm still going with the Jets.
This is
Dallas and
truly a game
Washington.
that could go either way. Yeah, Dallas and Washington.
Ugh. Like, in my pick 'em, I picked Dallas to win. But I'm just like, Washington's defense and Heineke are really starting to do well. So I'm
Yeah,
like, just give me one of those things.
yeah, I like Washington in this one. For a couple reasons because, like you just said, Heineke is playing really good, consistent, solid football. He's not making the big mistakes lately, and also the Washington defense has stepped it up, and they are looking like the defense they were supposed to be all season long. So, and I just feel like this game means so much more for them right now because Washington honestly has a legitimate shot to catch Dallas and win this division still. If a
Oh
few
yeah.
things break the right way, so they're in position to have a shot to catch Dallas and win this division. Like if they win this game, they're only going to be one game behind Dallas. So
hmm If
I think
Washington does win, Eagles are out. I
that would
really
hurt the
feel
Eagles
that.
bad.
If
Eagles probably
Washington,
do need Dallas to pull this out.
we need Dallas to win, and then after the bye, we got Washington, Giants, Washington again, and then Dallas. So I got Washington winning this. I'm gonna yeah. For my pick 'em, I'm picking Dallas, but for this, I got Washington winning.
Yeah, I agree with the Washington pick. I just think it's going to be a big game. They're at home. I think they're going to find a way to get the job done.
Yeah, definite. Atlanta versus Carolina. Oh my god. I think I'm going Atlanta. I hate
Yeah, I
saying
agree
that,
with you
but I think
there.
I'm going with Atlanta.
I went with Atlanta here too as well
Yeah, I mean
myself. Two
and
similar teams,
yeah.
but
In my opinion, though, Matt Ryan's got to go.
he's about. I think he's about done. What's going
Yeah.
on, Uncensored?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, how you doing, man? Thank you for popping in. So, yeah, here's my thing about Atlanta. I was surprised that they took Kyle Pitts. I thought they were going to take a quarterback there.
I thought a
I
quarterback or a quarterback or at least an offensive lineman or something. I mean, I didn't. I was a little stunned with the Kyle Pitts pick, but everybody fell in love with Kyle Pitts, man. He's a great player. I just feel like I wouldn't go that high for a tight end at all. Just not because he's at the end of the day, he's still just a tight end, So I mean,
I
he's a
know
good, phenomenal young talent, but I just wouldn't have picked him that high.
people are calling him like a quote unquote generational talent. Like, how good is he even doing this year? Like,
I
I
mean,
know
he's
it's his
had a
rookie year and everything, but I'm just like, is he? It doesn't seem right. I really think they should have taken a quarterback. Yeah. Seattle at Houston.
I
Seattle's been
think
looking bad. Russell
they
Wilson's
have
looking
been
terrible. And then
hasn't been
Houston's
good, but
Houston.
I still
So,
think they're a little better than Houston, man. I think Seattle get the nod here, man. I think they're just a better football team, and they'll find a way to win. It might be ugly, but they'll find a way to win.
so
And
who you
plus,
got?
DK Metcalf is due. I like Seattle. I think DK Metcalf also is due for a big game, man. This guy has been really quiet this whole year. It's been disappointing for me, especially in fantasy, because he's been letting me down pretty much week after week. But
Yeah.
he's due for a big game, and it could be this one here, man.
Yeah. I mean, what does Houston have? Tyrod Taylor, who's been looking. Who else they got? I mean, I don't know.
Brandon Cooks is one of their wide receivers.
Yeah.
They're number one. So
And then we
I'm not even
got
sure who's running the ball.
and then now we got Detroit and Denver. I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's out in Denver. I just can't go against the Broncos there against Detroit. Plus, Detroit had a big win last week. There's no way they're repeating that. So
Yeah. So, I mean, I have Melvin Gordon in fantasy, but he's injured. So I'm really hoping he comes back and I can just throw him in now. I need like, yeah. And then we got the Giants at the Chargers. So you picked the Chargers here, right?
I did. I think the Chargers actually went pretty big against us. I just feel like I know my New York. I love them to death. Don't ever think I'm speaking just how I feel is the truth with this football team right now. Offensively, I feel like we're allergic to the end zone, like we're scared to score touchdowns or something. And just I feel like the defense has probably had just about enough. And who knows if we still get that strong effort the rest of the way, they may just dial it in the way they feel like the way the offense appears to be dialing it in, man. So I just think bad things are going to happen out here in LA this weekend, man. I think we're just going to get out there and get crushed, man, by the Chargers.
Yeah. I mean, the Eagles had a close game with the Chargers. We had a very close game, but we lost as usual. But yeah. And then we got the 49ers at the Bengals. That's actually a good one. Like low key.
Absolutely.
Low key. That's a good one. I mean, Jamar Chase hasn't been doing anything. That hurts me in fantasy a lot.
Yeah, he's gotten quiet.
Yeah. People were talking about him being rookie of the year. Now that's going to Mac Jones. It looks
Mac
like
Jones is. I don't know if Deebo Samuel's playing for the 49ers. He's an X factor for the 49ers, in my opinion. So I'm not sure if he's going to be back for this one. I think
who?
I'll go with Cincinnati. Deebo Samuel.
Oh,
Deebo
yeah.
Samuel, the what? Yeah, he's an X factor for San Fran's offense, man.
I
Do
feel
it
like he
all.
has more rushing yards than receiving yards.
He's been like legit like playing like running back basically the last few games that he played. I mean, like he's been like in the backfield just getting the ball handed off to him like a regular running back. So he's a talented player, man. And if he's not in the lineup again, 49ers offense could struggle, and I think the Bengals will get the job done.
Yeah.
At home.
So, yeah, Buffalo. We got the Bills at the Buccaneers. This was, I'm going to be honest here, this was my pick for the Super Bowl in the beginning of the year, and I had the Bills winning in the beginning of the year. So, I'm like, based off what Buffalo's going through right now, like they're not running the ball as much, they don't have a running game. Their defense is like, I'm going Tampa Bay here. You can't go against Tom Brady. You can't.
It's hard to, but surprisingly, I did my little pick I did earlier this week. I actually picked Buffalo for the upset here, man.
You got Buffalo here?
I picked them for the upset, man. I feel like they've had so many disappointing losses this season, man, and I think this could be one of those kind of games where they can just go down there and kind of put it all together and maybe
Yeah,
sneak an upset in, man.
yeah, I can see that. If that happens, right now I think they're the seventh seed in the playoffs right now. If the players
Yeah.
were to, I think they're the seventh. So they definitely need to win this game. Tampa Bay can lose it, but
Oh yeah.
that won't hurt them as much. I'm still going Tampa Bay here. I don't trust them, especially what happened last game. They
Oh
got
yeah.
ran all over.
That was
Like that
bad.
was just bad. That was just terrible. And then Sunday night game, the Bears versus the Packers.
It's the oldest rivalry in football.
I thought the oldest rivalry was the Eagles and Cowboys, honestly. But
No, it's the pack. This one here, the Packers and Bears.
yeah, all right. So I got Green Bay. I mean, it's pretty
Oh,
obvious they can't.
absolutely.
Bears can't win with They just can't win with Matt Nagy as their head coach. They can't.
No, I agree.
It's so bad.
I
If
agree.
anyone picks
I
the
got.
Bears, I'm telling you why.
I mean, Justin Fields is coming back, but that still doesn't matter to me. I agree with you. I think Green Bay definitely wins and wins big. It's like a 12.5 point spread on this game, and I think they easily cover it.
Greeny
What's up,
Green
Greeny
missing.
Green?
How you doing, man? Yeah, you didn't see this coming? Well, anything can happen on YouTube. What up, Dante? How you doing, man? Thank you for popping in. Joel, how you doing, man? Blake,
Morning,
thank you for
fellas.
popping in. And Joel, any Giants fans? Do you guys win it? Do you see the Giants beating the Chargers tomorrow? Like, I've had some Giants fans on Twitter. Some of them said yes. Some of them said yes. And I'm like, okay, we'll see that. And then
Yeah, I
Monday
mean,
night, yeah, it makes no sense. I mean, Twitter's a dangerous place to be. I'm telling you. Monday night, we got the Rams and the Cardinals. Good game. Yo, SC
I remember.
Experience, what's up, man? Thank you for popping in. But yeah, we got the Rams and the Cardinals. Right now,
This was
this is the defense of the Rams is good. So that's why I'm like, why am I starting James Conner? But I got the Cardinals.
Well, they're out in Arizona. Kyler Murray is back in full effect. And the last time they played earlier in the year, the Cardinals absolutely trashed them in LA. I think it was the Rams' first loss of the season, man. They trashed the Rams out there in LA, man. So
Greeny Green, I
just made
appreciate you.
think it could be just a bad matchup for the Rams in general, man. Honestly, even though the Rams have kind of improved their roster since that first matchup against the Cardinals, but I don't know, man, about this. I think I went with the Cardinals here too, man.
Yeah, Kyler Murray just on a different level. And when they got Zach Ertz, I knew that was the piece they needed. And that was a perfect fit. One game, he had 2 touchdowns. He scored a touchdown in his debut for them. And I'm like, thank you. I wanted Zach Ertz to succeed. I forget what we got from that. Rams better get it in gear if they want to be serious contenders. That is true. That is true. I mean, the Rams, to me, I felt like there was too much hype. And then now they got OBJ. It's like, okay, now you got to win. You got to win the whole thing now. If you don't, everyone's going by. Everyone's leaving.
I mean, be able to add OBJ and Von Miller to your roster mid-season, man, it's not something a lot of teams can even pull off. So
and remember, they still have Jalen Ramsey. Like,
and Aaron
they
Donald.
still have some big-time players there. But to me, it doesn't. That loss of Woods, the loss of Robert Woods, I forgot. I forgot about him. Like, as soon as OBJ got there, Robert Woods got injured. I'm like, What are the freaking odds? I love the Giants, but we're in a hot mess right now, and we need answers from the upper management.
Exactly, Joe.
Matthew Stafford overrated. Huh. I don't see that. I still think he's like a top 5, top 10 quarterback.
I definitely think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think he's not so much overrated as I wouldn't call him overrated. I just think maybe people thought had put too much expectations on him at the same time as well too. Like I think he's a legit top 10 quarterback, but he still is a guy. He is who he is. He's gonna occasionally make those big mistakes with some of the chances he takes throwing the ball down the field sometimes. And I mean, he's just one of those. I wouldn't call him overrated.
Yeah, Stafford Eagles top 10.
Now.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just funny because now he has proper pieces around him. With the Lions, he had nobody. So this is what happens to Matthew Stafford when you build around him. And Jared Goff had that. Now he sucks over at Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit should go to Detroit to die, man. I feel like players go to Detroit
so
to die.
Bad for Goff. Like he was the number 1 pick, and then he just fell off. He just literally fell off, and I'm like, the hell?
I think the thing with Jared Goff is he's not necessarily as horrible as people make it seem. He's not flashy, you know what I mean? So he doesn't have that he doesn't have that extra that makes people want to like him, rally around him, and want to like him. I feel like because he's not truly, to me, he's not truly. He was obviously winning football games with the Rams too. I mean, it's a talented football team. Went to the Super Bowl and everything, but
now he had Megatron, yes, but did he do anything with them? Did they win anything with them? No. I felt like Megatron's career was just wasted.
Megatron's career was 100% wasted. They never had a running game in Detroit to help out. The defense was always suspect. Yeah, Detroit was a hot mess, man. That franchise is a hot mess in general, man.
Yeah. Like, I had a couple of Detroit Lions content creators on when the Eagles were playing them that Sunday, and they were like, Mitch, when we went 0 for 17 that year, 0 for 16, I forget that, they were like, the games were blacked out. Like, they couldn't even watch the games in Detroit.
Wow. Cool. Yeah. Guess they weren't sold out. Nobody wanted to go see a product like that.
Like, if you build around and they do something, because they did make the playoffs once, like a couple of years ago, I think 4 or 5, something like that.
They did. They played the Cowboys, I think, maybe in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and the Cowboys won, and then the Cowboys flopped the next game. Usual. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So for this game, for these games tomorrow, the only game I'm possibly looking forward to is the Cowboys in Washington, obviously, and then we got Buffalo and Tampa Bay. What is that one on? That one's on CBS.
Yeah, that should be a good one.
That should be a real good one if Buffalo comes up to play. And Josh Allen. Bro, what's going on with Josh Allen?
I think Monday night was kind of hard to get a good perspective because it was so windy in that game that passing the ball was nearly impossible anyway. But he's after a big year like he had last year, you got to expect some degree of a regression, man, just to some extent. Everybody's not. I mean, everybody's just not Tom Brady, man. I don't know how this guy is still at the age of 44 getting up and playing at the level that he plays at. It's really fascinating to me. I don't know what kind of vitamins he's taking, but he's everybody can't be like that. I mean, it's just football. You take your lumps, man, year to year. So I think Josh Allen is still having a pretty solid overall year. It's just hard to live up to a season like he had last year.
Yeah, and that was the main reason I picked Buffalo to win the Super Bowl because Josh Allen was in MVP conversations. The defense looked great. Stephon Diggs did his thing. And I'm like, what happened? They're making me look like an idiot throughout this whole season now. It's just like,
and now you got New England's back to form again. Bill Belichick's got that team rolling, man. Now they're in first place in the AFC East. So it's they got a little uphill battle, man. A little more pressure on them.
Right. Stafford did have Megatron, but can you name other receivers or running backs? No.
No, not
Tampa's
really.
going to kill Buffalo and smoke their asses. SMH. Yep. Do you guys think Justin Jefferson is a top 5 wide receiver? I gotta think of the wide receivers. Like you have Hopkins, you have Julio Jones when he's healthy. Am I forgetting somebody? I was gonna say Jamar
Right.
Chase, but that was way too
I guess
early.
you take Michael Thomas out the question for right now, out of it right now. I feel like because he just
That's
hasn't
two.
played football for the last 2 years.
I mean, would you put DK Metcalf up there or no?
He's having such a disappointing year right now, but he still is. He's still legit, man.
Adams, that's another one. That's 3. JJ better than Julio right now. Well, Julio's been injured. Like,
I mean, yeah, and he's just kind of old now. I mean, it is what it is. But he's still when he's healthy, he plays at a pretty high level still. I mean, AJ Brown is the number one over there in Tennessee, but
yeah.
Julio's still legit, man. When he's healthy.
What's up, Foothills? How you
Justin,
doing, man? Thank you for popping in. Much
oh yeah, and
appreciated.
there's Tyreek Hill too.
Tyreek Hill, that's 4. Debo, like, really?
I
He's
mean,
a
I can't
running.
put him in the top 5 receiver category, but he's
Oh, Diggs, Stephon.
Stephon Diggs definitely up there.
So that's 5. We got 5 better than Justin
I mean,
Jefferson.
Jefferson's right on the outside edge of those guys, though. Jefferson is definitely
Devontae,
still
yeah.
young talent, man.
So we got Hopkins, Adams, Diggs. God, who else am I forgetting?
Tyreek
Julio, that's
Hill,
4.
oh, yeah, Tyreek Hill, and yeah,
Yeah, he's a
I mean
great guy.
Jefferson's up there in the mix, man.
Yeah, and Tyreek Hill. So we do have Tyreek Hill up there. He is definitely a top wide receiver. He definitely is. I would love to have him. Oh wait, who we take? We took Rager.
Hey, yeah,
Oh my god, we took
could have had
fucking.
DK Metcalf too. Could have had DK Metcalf
We
and
took
Justin Jefferson.
Whiteside, bro. We took Whiteside.
Yeah,
Whiteside's having a better year receiving wise than Rager.
wow,
Like he
wow.
has more. He has less drops. It's actually kind of funny. Yeah. So I just don't know what. I mean, yeah, he is a top 5. I mean, Justin Jefferson's outside looking in. Yeah, outside looking in.
Yeah, he is, but he's not. He's not too far. I wouldn't put him too far outside, man. He's definitely up there. You can put him in the conversation. That's not a. It was a legitimate question for sure. It wasn't like one of those like, "What are you talking about?" questions. Are you crazy? I
Yeah,
can see how some people could have him in their top 5. To be honest,
yeah, bro, my Raiders took Rugg. Oh my god, man, they got that
that is
pick
true,
from
though,
MK.
man.
How do they pick? Dude, I don't know. That's Howie. Insanity to me. And we have all those on the board when we took Ruggs. Andrew Thomas having a better receiving year than Galladay. I
got
mean,
more touchdowns.
how
He's got
has
more
Ben Galladay
touchdowns.
doing? Like, he's been injured, right? He was injured a little
You
bit.
know, he's been banged up a lot this year. He's it's just been disappointing. Haven't been able to find a connection. Haven't been really using him properly, in my opinion.
Oh
Anyway,
my god.
so you know,
This
I
is like
just
a SMH. This is a shake my head moment. Raiders love that speed.
they
Oh my
do.
god. Superhero Shepard is their
Uh,
number 1.
I
Really?
mean, he's not really supposed to. He's not really supposed to be, and he's not. I mean, he is when he's on the field playing. Well, when Daniel Jones is playing and Shepard's playing, Daniel Jones does look for Shepard a lot. That's probably his favorite, most reliable receiver when they're both playing. But at the same time, brought Galladay in, gave him number 1 money, and he's got to be the guy. We got to figure out a way to make that work, make that connection work. And Kadarius Toney, he's been banged up a lot this year too, so he's been a big time for us in a few games this year. It's just he also hasn't been able to find the end zone either. But hell, like I said, hardly anybody on our offense has been able to find the end zone. So like they don't even know where it is or something. It's just ridiculous to me.
Who's more overpaid, Tobias Harris or Galladay? Two different sports.
Wow, that's a hell of a question. Whew.
I gotta go with Tobias. I hate it, but I gotta go with Tobias.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't really been following. I don't really start getting into the basketball until after football is done, really. But damn, Tobias, that's messed up.
Well, yeah, I hate to say it, but the judge needs to be fired.
My opinion on that, I have a strong. I think he needs to prove himself worthy of being an NFL head coach because right now he's on the verge of losing his team. I think at this is he's too conservative for my liking. I don't like how we can be like in plus territory on the opponent's side of the ball field. You know what I mean? And it's 4th and like 1 and 2, and you can't figure out a play to draw up and get that first down other than just punting the ball. Like in the situations when we probably don't need to be punting it when we're like because we don't score enough points as it is, and then we have opportunities where we're that close to being able to maybe get some more points on the board, and you're just gonna punt the ball away. That's crazy to me. He uses timeouts very poorly. He wastes his timeouts every single game. It just gets frustrating, man. He kind of, to me, sold us a can of goods, man. When he did that opening press conference, I didn't know who he was when we hired him, and I was upset at first, initially. But then I listened to his opening press conference, and I said, this guy's got me fired up a little bit, man. I'm ready to run through a wall for him, you know what I mean? But then you watch him on the sidelines game day, and it's not the same guy. I don't know. He puts on a hell of an interview, gives a hell of an interview, does a hell of a press conference, man. But he's just not that guy on the sidelines right now. He's not proven to be anyway. He makes really questionable decisions.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Nick Sirianni because once we hired him, his first press conference, he was talking about rock, paper, scissors and competition. And I'm like, I made a rant video and I got backlash because guys, it's about competition and all this and that. I'm like, who talks about rock, paper, scissors? And then a couple weeks later, he brought up this like metaphor with flowers. And then we went on a 3-1 game. The next 4 games, we went 3-1 after that flower speech.
I mean, here's my thing I can say about Nick Sirianni, though, what I respect is because I think he was as a coach, he was making errors earlier in the season by not running the football enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I get and the light bulb came on, man. And you guys have now become probably the best running team in football, like I said, over the past month of this season, man. Like just getting it done on the ground physically, just beating up and wearing out teams. You have a big, strong offensive line, and you got them pushing people around, opening holes for all of your running backs. Like not just Miles Sanders. You guys are all eating. Jordan Howard came from your practice squad, came back up the practice squad, and just was lighting things up, man. And then Gainwell had a pretty solid game once again on last Sunday. So it's like,
yeah.
And Boston Scott, everybody's getting some of that running game. And obviously Jalen Hurts, you don't have to speak about him, what he's doing with his legs, man. So
yeah.
I think at least Nick Sirianni understood he was doing, maybe making some mistakes, and he corrected those mistakes. Whereas Joe Judge seems to keep making the exact same mistakes over and over again, game in and game out.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not seeing the ability to change of Judge. Here's for me about the last game with Gardner Minshew there. It was like a more balanced offense. When Jalen Hurts was there, he was only looking at Devontae Smith each time. The last game, I forget if someone in the chat could tell me, an Eagles fan, how many catches did Watkins have this past game? Because he had like more catches than he would finally use, and Dallas Goedert had 2 touchdowns. That's his most, and he had over 100 yards receiving. Like with Gardner Minshew there, it's a more balanced offense. With Jalen Hurts there, you have inaccuracy, you can't read the field, and all that stuff. But I'm like iffy on the whole QB competition thing.
See, the thing about that, what I'll say is, Gardner Minshew, you got to remember, he may be the backup quarterback now for you guys, but at the same time, he's got legit starting experience. He came in with 2 years, this is his third season, and he pretty much started his entire first year and a half of his career down in Jacksonville. He was a starting quarterback, so he's got some experience out there in starting. You know what I mean? And for what it's worth, right now, Jalen Hurts' biggest weakness to me is his arm talent, overall arm talent, and I would say Gardner Minshew probably has a little bit more arm talent overall than Jalen Hurts at the current time right now. But you guys also been winning football games with Jalen Hurts and with getting that running game going and him and maybe limiting some of the passes he has to make. But he has to just work on that. I feel like he works on that in the all season. He become a legit starting quarterback, franchise quarterback for you guys. I was hard on Jalen Hurts last all season, man, but that guy opened my eyes up this year and proved that he's a legit player, man. He can and he can get it done in this league, man. He has to work on some things, obviously, but I think he can come around, man.
How'd you feel when you guys picked him off 3 times?
I mean, I felt really good, obviously. We definitely needed that.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, bro.
That's kept us. That's what won us the football game.
Yeah, Philly, the podcast. Thank you for popping in. My 2 favorite teams are coached by Joe Judge and Doc Rivers. Oh my God, don't get me started on the Doc Rivers. Please don't. We were down by 13 or I forget how much going into the 4th quarter against Utah. He started the bench. I'm like, bro. He put Georges Niang on Rudy Gobert. Bro.
Oh, wow.
What's your thoughts about the Jones injury?
It's tough, man. I feel it's weird to me. The post situation is bizarre because he played the whole damn game against the Eagles, man, and he never left. He never missed a play in that game. So it's weird. Like I don't even know when the injury actually happened, and now it's just every week it just seems like the diagnosis keeps getting worse and worse. Now they're talking about it's potentially career threatening. His potential structural damage in his neck, and it's like, it's frustrating because it's frustrating as Daniel Jones has been for a lot of Giant fans, and just in general, nobody wants to see a guy have to go out like that. You know what I mean? You don't have to see a situation like this where he loses his career over an injury like this. So I just kind of pray for him right now and just hope that things can be better, man. I'm going to assume he's definitely done for the year. There hasn't been an official announcement made on that, but I would imagine he's done for the year at least and go from there, man.
Jones can kick rocks from time. Okay. His career that is sad. Like, I'm an Eagles fan, obviously. Like, I wrote how Daniel Jones fall on his face and all that stuff. But when it comes to his neck, I just don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. But you might actually laugh at this. Back in 3rd grade, my best friend, who I'm still close with to this day, he was a diehard Eagles fan, right? He moved to Florida and became a Giants fan. And I'm like, he had every single Eagle jersey known to man. He had everything. And then once he goes to Florida, Giants. And I'm like, and I was on the phone with him when Daniel Jones fell. He hung up on me, didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. Wow. I'm like, all right. And he really
there's a big fan base down in Florida for the New York Giants, actually. It's a lot of New York Giant fans living in the state of Florida, man. They all the New Yorkers retired down there, man.
Yeah, he's in Boca. So it's just like, I don't know if there's a lie in Boca. I got to ask him that. But it's just like, how do you switch up like that? And his dad's a diehard Eagles fan. Like, I talk to his dad a lot. So just like, what the hell? Makes no sense. And I'm like, dude, we have 2 things in common. We both beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
But you guys did it twice.
Yep,
so indeed. Yeah. So let me ask you this. It just popped into my head. Eli Manning, a Hall of Famer, right?
In my opinion, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. there was some Eagles fans on Twitter that told me that he's not a Hall of Famer, compare his stats to Philip Rivers and all that stuff. And I'm like, he has 2 Super Bowls. What has Philip Rivers got?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I agree with that, but I don't. To me, Eli's a Hall of Famer, not even just because everybody says the Super Bowls are the main thing, but his stats just are Hall of Fame numbers. All the other quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame's numbers, Eli's numbers are right up there, well there. So I don't see what's the difference. How is it any difference? And he has 2 Super Bowls on top of that.
Yeah, I'm looking at his stats right now. His record is 117, 60% completion percentage, 57,023 yards, 366 touchdowns, 244 interceptions. I mean, that's Hall of Fame worthy. That is.
I agree.
Yeah, no debate. Like, people on Twitter just, like, come up with the biggest BS.
Well, because people like to always say all he did was win 2 Super Bowls. That's it. People, when they say that, I'm like, so nonchalant. That's all he did was win 2 Super Bowls. Say that to Dan Marino. I mean, Dan Marino is a Hall of Fame, was obviously a Hall of Fame quarterback who had an amazing career. You think he wouldn't have loved to win at least 1 Super Bowl in his career?
Yeah.
Let's say that to somebody like that. That all he did was win 2 Super Bowls and MVPs. Exactly, Greeny Green.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, people are saying that it was mostly the defense and one. I forget which one.
The first one in 2000, the first Super Bowl to beat the undefeated Patriots. It was a very strong defensive effort. But I always remind people of this in that game. When the game was on the line, it took a game-winning touchdown drive led by Eli Manning to win that football game. So, as good as the defense played in that game, it took Eli Manning driving his offense down the field and winning that football game still. So, people that say that, I just tell I hit them with that, man. I remind them of that. And in the second Super Bowl, it was Eli Manning. That was Eli Manning. Defense was okay, but it wasn't nothing compared to the 2007 defense. And that was all mostly Eli Manning in the 2011 season, man. He definitely earned that Super Bowl MVP 100%. And there's no question about it.
Yeah.
He was the reason we won that football game.
What about that catch? Wasn't that by Tyree on the helmet?
Yeah, David Tyree, man. I say about that play, most quarterbacks they had him dead to rights, man, and most quarterbacks would have went down. Eli, who's not even known as being mobile, somehow got out of that, and he launched the ball downfield and put it up high, and David Tyree was able to go up and get it. And there was a whole lot of luck involved in that play. I get it. I mean, theoretically, he shouldn't be. That's not what you should ideally want your quarterback to just throw the ball down the middle of the field like that in the coverage, but he got up there high enough. He gave his receiver a chance to make a play, and the receiver made an amazing play. So yeah, and in football, things chalk up to luck sometimes. Everybody has luck on their side every once in a while. You know what I mean? So people that try to just say that play, he just closed his eyes and threw the ball downfield. No, he didn't. He put the ball in a position, gave the receiver a chance to make a play, and the receiver made a play. It's a Super Bowl. There's no reason to hold anything back.
Yeah,
the Super Bowl. No reason.
He refused to go down. Yeah, that's just the Manning way, I guess. But yeah. You love Tiki Barber?
I loved him when he was playing, but then let his mouth take over after he stopped playing, and kind of made me feel a certain type of way about him. But at the same time, I respect what he did on the field for the New York Giants.
Oh yeah. I hated him. As an Eagles fan, I just hated him. Like I hate both Barbers. Rondé Barber with that pick six. Oh my god.
Oh man.
That freaking pick six, man. Like,
wow. Remember that one.
Yeah. I mean, I hate those both. I hate them both. I didn't like Michael Strahan at all. Like, his game was so good, but it was just like, it's an Eagles fan 2 times a year. It's just like always there.
So funny. When I went to the Hall of Fame when the year when Michael Strahan got inducted. I went to the ceremony that year. And And John Runyon was out in the crowd, man. Even came and stopped out in the crowd because that was like the guy that him and Strahan just had a huge rivalry, man. All
Yeah.
those years with the Eagle Giant games, man. So it was pretty cool, man. Sit out there and Big John Runyon was out in the crowd there supporting Michael Strahan getting inducted in the Hall of Fame, man. They're actually really good friends, man.
I know. Yeah.
These
And
years.
then John Runyon became our congressman. He became our congressman here. I'm like, yeah, but you had more penalties than anyone I knew. That guy caught so many penalties, bro. It was like, you think Derek Barnett gets a lot? He got times too.
Derek Barnett, man. That guy is just. I don't understand. He gets the same like crazy penalties over and over every game too. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. I remember I tried to make the series called Trade Derek Barnett podcast, but I didn't actually finish it because I started it too late and the trade deadline was there. And I'm like, all right, great. It's like, yeah. So I just want to know who you got on your fantasy team.
Well, I got Jonathan Taylor, but he's on the bye this week.
Yeah.
And what else I got? I got DK Metcalf letting me down. Got Jamar Chase.
I got Chase as well in this league.
Quarterback, I got Josh Allen. And Josh Allen and Daniel Jones, but that's Daniel Jones is obviously a no factor no more.
Yeah. What's up, Key in the building? Shout out to you. Thank you for the thumbnail, Key. I love when you make my thumbnails. You're so talented. Thank you. And a co-worker in Spotlight Sports Network. Love working with you. But yeah. So I got Mahomes, Diggs, Chase, Connor, Hunt. George Kittle came out of nowhere, man. Like in the beginning of the season, he had one touchdown, and then he had like the biggest injury, and then he comes back. It's like top 3 tight end again. AJ Dillon.
I do have Mark Andrews too, a tight end myself.
Yeah, I have Rashard Bateman, Melvin Gordon, Taylor Heineke. I might drop Heineke, but yeah, and then the Denver's defense this week, but it's the Rams are going against the Cardinals.
I got the Rams defense. I hope they show up this week.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I had Connor against the Rams defense, so either way, I lose. So I'm like, just let me pick up Denver. They're going against Detroit. Yeah. So, what made you become a Giants fan?
It's just when I was a little kid, young man, and I was just happened to see him play, and then Lawrence Taylor just was standing out to me, man. That guy was just 56 was an animal, man. I was like, that dude right there is just wrecking stuff, man. He's killing people, man. And I just really got behind him and got behind the team, and I never looked back, man. It's been a Giants love fest ever since for me.
Yeah. So for me, I was born into it like you were for the Giants, but I would never forget this. My whole family was at my uncle's house. So it was me, my family, my whatever. And we were watching Eagles vs. Cowboys. And whenever the Cowboys even got the ball, my family would boo out of nowhere. They would just boo straight up. And I'm like, so I got to hate this team? Got it. And I was like, that stuck with me. Yeah. Wow. Oh, you too, Mac? Oh, you too. Oh, if you had to rank the NFC East, who do you think will be 2, 3, and 4? For me, it's easy. Cowboys, Washington, Eagles, Giants. That's me.
See, I don't know. I think right now, based off of just this season, I'd still put Hurts above Heineke.
Oh, okay.
And
QBs. Yeah.
And then okay. I still put Hurts above Heineke, and then Daniel Jones picking up the rear because it's just the development's still not quite there, man. But it's not. See, with Daniel Jones, the thing with him that bothers me is the Giants have just done him so wrong as far as not putting a competent offensive line in front of this man his whole entire career yet. I mean, so I was having a discussion with a guy at work couple of days ago, and he was like, "Yeah, our Giants offensive line is so mediocre," and I'm like, "I wish we were at least mediocre." We're not even the Giants offensive line is not even mediocre. It's worse than that. And so it's like if they were even at least just mediocre, then maybe I would expect a little bit more from Daniel Jones, but it's just so hard to get a real evaluation of a guy when he's running for his life every single play. And the same with Saquon Barkley. We've absolutely wasted Saquon Barkley, just completely wasted him because he just
That's
can't put a
exactly what my
competent
friend
offensive
said.
line in front of him.
Yeah. I mean, my friend who's a Giants fan now, he was like, Mitch, we're a high school team. You guys should beat us with ease. We have Daniel Jones, Joe Judge, and everything. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. 5 days late, a couple days later, he texted me. He was like, yeah, you guys lost to our high school team. I'm like, either way, we were going to lose. Like, I didn't feel we should have won, but that was just a terrible game. You loved every second of it. You know what's funny?
Did.
We only had 1 sack on Daniel Jones, 1 or 2. For the last 4 or 5 games, we only had 7 sacks, 7 or 8. And I'm like, yeah.
My thing with Jones too is another problem with Daniel Jones is he has to learn if he can overcome this injury and be able to get back on the field and play, continue his career. He has to learn how to protect himself, man. That guy still in 3 years does not know how to slide in the NFL, man. He takes hits that he should not be taking a lot, man.
Yeah.
Takes way too much punishment when he's running the football. So he has to learn that he's a quarterback and needs to protect himself because that may have been what caused his injury.
How's his IQ, you think, on a scale from 1 to 10?
I would say it's about at least 7 to 8. I don't think that's the issue with the kid. I think he's a smart kid, It's just I don't know. He hadn't had. I feel like what I always tell people about that he lacks natural good instincts when he's playing the game, man. Like whereas Jalen Hurts, when he runs, it's instinctive and it just looks natural, flows. It looks good. With Daniel Jones, obviously he doesn't have Jalen Hurts running ability, but he can run the football. He can do things athletically. He's a good athlete. He's a much better athlete than Eli Manning ever was his whole entire career with the Giants, and yet Eli Manning knew how to protect himself and never had those big injuries, man. That's a good assessment. His football IQ is his football IQ is not where it needs to be. But
with Jalen Hurts, you can say that for me, at least for Jalen Hurts, I can say he's pretty average because he's still reading the field. He's getting better at that. But I will never forget, I think we were going up against the Giants. It was 4th. It was third or right before the half. We should have kicked the field goal. He bombed it in there, and it was picked off. I'm like, you had 8 seconds. Take your time, throw it out of bounds, and kick the field goal. But that
was a poor decision.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I agree. My morning's good so far, really good. Hurts is at 6. I can see that to an extent. 6, yeah. I mean, people are saying Gardner Minshew's football IQ is a 10, and I'm like, it was 1 game against the Jets. Save it for when we play Washington in 2 weeks.
How is Hurts doing? He's back he'll be back this week, right?
Next week.
Next week. That's right. Next week.
Yeah, we're on a bye. So hopefully, see, that's the thing with Eagles fans. Eagles fans are like, we want Minshew for the quarterback for the rest of the year, and I'm like, give it to Washington, let Hurts play, and if he loses, bench him for the rest of the year. That's exactly how I say it. If Hurts plays, but if Gardner Minshew plays and he wins, bench Hurts for the rest of the year. So it's like flip flop for me. So I like Jalen Hurts, but he's making stupid decisions time and time again.
It's when defenses force him to be a pocket passer, he's going to make those mistakes. I think that's, like I said, he has to really work on that this offseason to take that next level at the quarterback position, man, because he clearly is a good athlete and is going to can make plays with his legs all day long. But he has to prove that sometimes teams are going to, contain you, and you got to be able to prove that you can make them pay when they do that too. Yeah, he hasn't been able to do that. So he needs to really step that part of his game up.
Yeah. So we're closing in on an hour, guys, a little bit before. I just want to say thank you to my guy, Mac, the Giants fan. Let him know where the people can find you at.
Oh, yeah, you can find me right on my YouTube channel at MacDaGiantsFan. Find me on Twitter, Facebook as well at MacDaGiantsFan. That's MacDA Giants fan. I'll move out the way. You can see it a little bit.
That is sick.
A little bit
I like that.
Yeah, so you can definitely find me there. And I drop New York Giant content. Might be branching out in some other things this off season. See, but
I think you should do wrestling. I swear to God, I think you should do wrestling.
I might just branch out into some of that. And I do a preview show every Sunday before the game. I do a aftermath live reaction show after every New York Giants game. And on Wednesday, I do a podcast where I break down the NFC East games, the Eagles, Giants, the Cowboys, and the Washington football team every Wednesday night at 8:30. So you can definitely find me right there, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, Mac the Giants fan, MacDA Giants fan.
There you go. And if you guys want to subscribe to him, his link is in the description below. So give him a sub. Last question here.
I'd appreciate it.
No problem, man. Glad you could be on. In what other system that Hurts has played under was he asked to be a pocket passer? I mean, that's not his forte. That's not his style of play, though. It's not, but he's still making terrible decisions. His style of play is to run the ball. It's like to run the ball and throw it. He's never been a pocket passer.
No, not at all. And this is pretty much the reason why he got ran out of Alabama. I mean, not ran out of Alabama, but when Tua took his spot, I mean, he just wanted because he wasn't able to do the things that offense needed him to be able to do. So, unfortunately, he lost his job to a true freshman at the time when Tua, and he transferred to Oklahoma to finish his college career, which he still played pretty solid football at Oklahoma as well. He was a second-round draft pick. So,
yeah.
I mean, he's just being the pocket passer and just not what he's been able to do. But to survive in the NFL, he's going to have to develop develop the ability to be able to do that.
Yeah. So real quick, guys, before I forget, tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to have Birds of Broad Street on my channel. So that's Cool Cat Connor, Bird Game 31, Philly Notion, and One Trey Rock. So at 6 o'clock, expect that. That's going to be very fun. And thank you for coming on again, my guy. Hopefully we can do this again soon.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks again for having me, Mitch. I really appreciate this, man.
Yeah.
So
no problem,
appreciate it, man. Thanks again, man.
Yep. Let's just play the intro and get on it. Wait. First, you can subscribe to me if you haven't already. Twitter, Instagram, everything's in the description below. All right, guys. We'll catch you all later. Peace.